All right, today on the show, we have Jereme Kleven from My Home Group Real Estate in Arizona. Let me tell you a little bit about, actually, before we tell you about Jereme, I'm going to tell you why I am super excited before I read Jereme's bio, because this is personally a very, very exciting episode for me. And I never stop the flow. I go straight into the bio and then we introduce the guest. But before we do that, I want to tell you why I am personally excited. So I'll pull back the curtain a little bit on what I do, because I don't really talk about what I do here in real estate. I'm not an actively producing broker. I am obviously the host of this show, but my day job, where I spend 99% of my time, is recruiting and retaining agents for the company that we have here in Chicago. And so in the last 10 years, our company's recruited, we have over 700 agents here at our firm. And I've always thought, hey, that's not bad. We're doing a good job recruiting. But then it's really it's everything's subjective, right? And everything's conditional. And so now I'm super excited to have Jereme on the show, because this guy puts me to shame in the recruiting and the retention game. And I am going to I'm so excited to chat with him, because I'm going to learn so much. And also, I think all of our agents and our listeners are going to learn so much, because this is not just about recruiting agents. You might not be a broker owner, although a lot of broker owners do listen to our show. And the reason why a lot of broker owners listen to our show is because they want to learn how to recruit some of these top producers that we feature. But it's not just broker owners that listen. Obviously, the vast majority of our listeners are not broker owners. They're just individual practitioners, or maybe you're on a team and you want to recruit more team members, or maybe you're thinking about joining a team or building a team. This is the podcast episode to listen to. It's the only one we've ever done about this exact topic. So, all right. I'm excited. Obviously, everybody's heard me now. And now I'm going to introduce our amazing guest, who is the reason why I'm this excited. So this is Jereme Kleven. So Jereme is the owner and co-founder of My Home Group Real Estate. He's been awarded in the Inc. 500 for the last 5 years as the fastest growing company in the country. As a licensed real estate professional since 2001, Jereme felt that the traditional brokerage model seriously lacked value to agents. Now, his vision was to build a brokerage that allowed agents and teams to flourish by providing them with the best culture, education, and technology at unsurpassed value. Now, this is incredible. He has recruited and grown his company to 2,800 agents in the last 7 years. I grew our company from 0 to 700 in 10 years. He has like quadrupled what I have done in a shorter period of time. And what he believed, he's recruited all these people who have believed in his vision and now who call My Home Group their professional home. Now, My Home Group has grown from 11 million in sales, this is incredible, to 7 billion in sales in 7 years. 11 million to 7 billion. My Home Group has closed 18,000 transactions just last year and is currently closing on average 2,000 sales transactions every single month. That's over 600 million in sales each month. In addition, he started 6 ancillary businesses to capitalize on all aspects of the real estate transaction and to ensure a high level of service is provided to the customer. Jereme shares a passion for fostering the growth of his agents and teams first, which has helped him recruit more top 100 agents and teams than any other brokerage in Arizona. He prides himself not only on the production of My Home Group, but also on his agent-centric culture, which has changed the real estate community for the better. Please find Jereme's website at myhomegroup.com. Jereme, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much. Really, really happy to be here. Appreciate the kind words out of the gates. And hey, let me also be the first one to tell you, well, I'm sure somebody else has told you a good job, because hey, 700 agents, we're all in different marketplaces, different challenges and struggles. And by all means, I mean, that is a lot of folks. I'm sure you guys are doing a lot of business. You got a good market share. I know that. So, good on you as well, my man.
Well, thank you. And please do not open up an office here in Chicago. Please stay away. I need this job. I need to keep going. You would crush us. No, we're really excited to have you. Jereme's a great guy, and I'm so excited to bring him on the show. But before we get started, we have listeners from all over the country, and you are not only in Arizona. Obviously, if anyone is listening and you're looking to join the #1 firm in Phoenix, Scottsdale area, My Home Group, of course, is a great place to explore. But you're also in other areas. Do you mind sharing with our listeners in case they're in other markets?
Yeah, so 9 states total. Yeah, Arizona is the backbone, but California, Washington, Nevada, Utah, Florida, Michigan, Georgia, I think is 9. So I don't think I'm forgetting anywhere. And yeah, but those are the 9 states that we're in and that we're operating in. But like I said, Phoenix Metro is really home base, where we have the most traction. This is where we are at our corporate headquarters. So. Again, where we birthed, and then we've been, I'll say, slowly going around the country into various, other marketplaces around the country. Really leading, with talent and people that want to be a part of our culture and our energy and our collaboration and our brand, and really leading with talented, hungry folks around the country. And by no means do we want to just go across the country just to say that we're doing it. We want to do it with the right people. So
Sure. Well, we're really excited to have you. And I know how busy you
thank you.
are and your company is, especially right now with everything booming. I know here in Chicago, activity is at a peak. I imagine in Phoenix and the other markets you guys cover, it's also very,
Yeah.
very busy. But let's go. I would love to go all the way back before all the success
Yeah.
that you've had building this company. But you started yourself in real estate, back in 2001. Do you mind sharing with our listeners sort of your background and why you got into real estate and how that came to be?
I was a failing college student. So I grabbed my buddy. Well, at the time he was my buddy, my best friend. He's my business partner here 20 years later. Mark Hutchins. I grabbed him. I said, "Hey, what do you think about going to real estate school? We need to make some money. This whole school thing isn't really proving to be for us, but it's just one thing we knew how to do right out of the gates, and we've done to this day. That's kind of helped us set ourselves apart. Anyone out there can do this. They can show up, they can be committed, and they can absolutely work hard. And that's all we knew how to do it. But at the time we said, hey, look, let's go get our license. We could have an opportunity here to make some money. We needed, like I said, to make some money, and ended up opening had a little bit of success, not much out of the gates. I actually have a podcast of my own, and I ask this to people all the time, like, how long did it take for you to stop fumbling around, so to speak, and ultimately figure it out, quote unquote, or get productive, right? And so we fumbled around for a long time, kind of just trying to learn this business and do a few deals, kind of one to the next. Didn't really treat it like a sales business like we should have out of the gates. One of the mistakes that we made early along. But opened the Brokerage, my home group, in 2005, and we were really just a small team that was in the form of a brokerage, or we were a brokerage that was a small team, in operations or in sales. We also had a mortgage operations for many years. Mark was a mortgage broker, so we were kind of a two-headed monster. And
Sure.
back in that day, 05, 06, I mean, the market was on fire back then, and
Sure.
we were having some levels of success then, and this will never end, and the whole 9 yards. But it actually wasn't until 2012 where we decided to rebirth ourselves, so to speak, and rebrand, create some tools and some resources in a back office, and really create or make an effort, I should say, to grow out. And we don't like to use that word recruit necessarily. We
Sure.
like to use the word attract.
Yeah.
And really make the goal to attract some agents, attract some producers, and attract good people that want to do good business, that want to grow, that want to take care of the community. And we put that out there. We also put out there that we're an open book. We want to surround ourselves with other open books, people that want to pay it forward in this industry. Again, we've had a certain level of success, and we've never arrived, but we've had a certain level of success in this industry, and it's been good to us ultimately. Lots of bumps and bruises, but it's been ultimately good to us. And so since day one, we've always wanted to create a brokerage that led with abundance, right? That led with culture and energy and collaboration and celebrating success and putting our agents in bright shining lights, because at the end of the day, that's what this business, that's who's really should be in bright shining lights, right? It's not the brokerage, it's
Right.
the agent,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 2012, and like you said, you quoted some numbers. I mean, the entire year of 2012, like I said, it was really just us, doing our own business. 11 million in sales, to, 600 million that we closed just last month alone, on track for, like we said, 7 billion or so in total sales. So it's pretty remarkable, what's happened. At the same time, we feel like we've just begun.
Well, it's hats off to the success you've had. And really what our listeners and viewers might not understand about building a brokerage is that the hardest part, at least from a attracting agents perspective, as Jereme says, he likes to attract agents and teams. The actual hardest part, in my experience, is attracting teams. Individual agents are actually, for us, not that challenging, although depends, of course, on their level of production. The higher producing agents are more difficult in our experience to attract to our company, simply because they're usually being so well cared for at their own firm that it's difficult. So a lot of the agents who join us aren't necessarily at the very top of the mountain, but Jereme has cracked that code, and he has been able to attract those top agents away from all the other firms that are also competing for those teams and individual agents. And so I know there's a lot of our listeners who are maybe they have a team and they're looking to attract more agents to it, or they're looking to build a team like you did and ultimately a brokerage. And just curious if you have any general tips and advice and guidance for anyone looking to bring more people in.
I think that you have to take a really focused and committed approach to adding value day one and every day after. That is our ultimate goal. Every single Monday morning, just a little bit ago, I had a call with all of our staff, and every single one of our staff calls, one of the talking points or bullet points is how can we continue to add more value to our agents, again, I think for agents to, bottom line, there's 3 reasons agents will join a team and or join a brokerage, right? 3 reasons, generally speaking. Number one, I don't care who you are, I'm sorry, but it's money, right?
Sure.
And or opportunities, okay, that ultimately equates to money. And closely behind that, in my humble opinion, is culture, right?
Yeah.
People want to be a part of something. They want to be a part of a tribe. Again, we like to think that we have created, a culture of collaboration, of abundance, of giving, of sharing of ideas, of strategizing together. Our job now as leaders is facilitating growth and getting these top producers side by side and providing that info and that content and knowledge and expertise to the rest of our agent base. You know what I mean? So, and then that third thing is systems, right? Any kind of systems or technologies and things like that. So, I think that those are the 3 reasons that agents will join a team and or brokerage. So, for the folks out there, and then why does an agent join, or beyond that, why do agents then choose to join a team and stay there? And I think that ultimately that we're all trying to backfill a need in our business. So we're big believers, in providing a platform that our teams can run and operate and be independent, so to speak, and have full autonomy to go out there and operate their own business underneath our platform. But then again, agents then need to, what do we look to backfill in our business? And that's what the team can provide to an agent, or sometimes a brokerage can provide to an agent as well. Hey, look, if I'm a single agent and I'm not doing, A, B, and C well, or maybe I just don't want to do A, B, and C well, right? Maybe I can look for a team that can help backfill that need in my business. So again, like I said, back to that culture piece, I would love to put that number one, but at the end of the day, we have lives, we have livelihoods, we have families, or whatever it may be, and we need to make money, and we need to make an income. But a lot of those things, again, culture and energy, collaboration, how do you hold people accountable, co-opetition, right? Things like that.
I like
that also equates to money, and that can also get people more productive, and so we have more top 100 agents and more top 100 teams in the state of Arizona than any other brokerage. We're super proud of that. We're super proud of we also have the #1 team in the state of Arizona. It's actually a top 10 team in the country. We're proud of the platform that ultimately we've provided them, again, to have that autonomy and that freedom for them to run their own business, just like an individual agent to run and operate their own business. And I think that that's what's important. So for the people that out there that want to grow, you have to be an agent first. You have to look on how you can add value and or shorten the learning curve for a new agent, right? So again, we've done that as well, where agents can come into our system, into our brokerage, and shorten the learning curve and get more productive in a short amount of time. And again, what's that equate to? Money, right? So again, just one more thing on that note is that like I said, we've been big believers in putting the agent in bright shining lights. At the end of the day, this is about the agent. It's not about the brokerage. So, we're above our egos. We understand that. I think every day going forward in this industry, if it's not already here in your marketplace or wherever folks are at around the country, it's coming very soon, where it's becoming less and less about the brokerage, okay?
Yes.
And more about the individual, right? People work with who they know, like, and trust, and that's the folks that they're going to work with. It happens all the time. Hey, I ran into or you talk to somebody about real estate. Oh yeah, my cousin's in real estate. Oh really? Oh, who are they with? Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Right.
ABC, XYZ, but that's their relationship, and they'll go anywhere that agent is. So that's what we recognize. We allow agents to brand themselves. And, you see this getting around the country, I think, more and more, but, we've been doing that for 7-8 years. So
yeah, boy, you just said so much. I want to you just actually brought up a couple of things that I do as well on the recruiting side that that really touched on some of the comments you made. So I'll give everyone who's listening just a simple example of something that literally anybody could do. Nobody does it, at least in our to my knowledge, nobody does it here in our local or in the Chicagoland market. And it seems like such a simple and easy thing. So, Jereme was just talking a lot about putting the agent first, celebrating the agent. So one of the things I do, this is very easy for anyone who's listening, who owns a brokerage and is trying to attract more agents. You probably heard of a tool called Brokermetrics. Jereme uses it. I use it. It's basically a database system. It pulls data from the MLS so that you can look and see which agents you think would be the best fit based on some of their production and various data points. Anyway, so most brokerage firms who are trying to recruit already have this tool. This tool is widely available. Anyone can get access to it. It's relatively inexpensive, and it's a great tool. But for us, I started thinking, and Jereme will probably appreciate this, I started thinking about this too, is how can we celebrate agents who aren't yet with our firm, right? So this is a great opportunity for everyone listening to think, how can I celebrate agents that I want to attract to my team, to my brokerage? What could I do to stand out? Well, celebrating their success is a great first step. So one of the things I do is, for example, whenever anybody does their very first sales transaction, I give them we have a system where that gives them a call and says, hey, we just noticed you closed your first sale. That's amazing. Now, obviously, if you're looking for a top producer, that won't be that interesting to you, but you can also look for everyone that's doubled the production they've done in the previous 12 months. So you get a list of everyone that's doubled production. Do you think most, and I'm not asking Jereme this, but just our listeners, most agents aren't even aware when they're doubled their production or more than doubled their production. They're so busy, they don't always recognize that. Or maybe they recognize it, but maybe their firm, the managing broker or the brokerage owner, isn't acknowledging that, right? So these are great opportunities to reach out to people that you want to attract and say, hey, I just noticed you did this. That's incredible. We've got our eye on you. We would love to have you. And even if you're not interested in moving, congrats. Keep up the great work. And sorry to go on a monologue there, Jereme,
no,
but you got me thinking about some of the things we do as well.
No, I love that. I mean, that's so powerful. And the idea behind that is that you're adding more value. You are congratulating them. You're giving them that high five. It's positive. It's productive. It's paying it forward. There's so many good things that come out of that. And there's a good chance that their own broker isn't even doing the same thing.
100%. Right? So that's the feedback we get is, and we look, when we do that, what we don't do is say, oh, by the way, come join our firm. We don't do that because that diminishes the message.
Yep.
We wanted to make it clear. And if they say, hey, who are you? What are you all about? Then we talk about it. But typically we just say, hey, if you're ever interested in looking at another firm, please give us a call. We'd love to chat with you, but this call is just to congratulate you. Keep up, and you're absolutely right. I cannot tell you how many people have reached out and said, my own managing broker didn't reach out when I doubled my production, or I just moved to this firm. I did my first sales transaction. Nobody called to congratulate me. It's always little things that are value add. But you just said it all. So I appreciate you letting me talk about that.
And we actually do, have a similar process, and we send out a congratulations on every sale, to the cross agent of every sale that we close, right? Which you can, various MLSs, you can pull that info on a daily basis. I mean, I know there's some automated systems out there, but even if it's an automated process for people out there to just export all the cross agents and just send them a quick, hey, congratulations on your sale. And then we try to come from a service perspective. Here's a survey on anything that we can do to get better as an organization. We want to have the very best agents in the industry. So just another way to kind of add value and congratulate them and on their closings. So the other thing you mentioned too that kind of leads me is when you talk about congratulating successes, is being intentional, and that comes down to social media. And we like to use Facebook as a CRM, as a tool that when for our own agents, right, the positives, and sometimes unfortunately life happens, and the negative things or the sad things or whatever it may be, the losses obviously of people is a way to reach out and give our condolences and show that we're here for the bad things that happen, and then give obviously for the good things that happen, the congratulations and the high fives for the good things that happen as well. And again, it's not just going on to scroll and do, we go on, we have a staff member that goes on, and we're intentional with that. And you can use these tools. That's free. It doesn't cost any money, right? To go on, use it as a CRM and take the opportunity to highlight people, celebrate that success. I think is powerful.
Yeah, it's funny. After 10 years, you talked about stumbling around for your first 4 or 5 years or so before you guys figured out how to really create the brokerage. We after 10 years, we just started realizing, hey, when we hire a new broker, we should probably feature them prominently on our Facebook page, interview them a little bit, get some fun tidbits about their career and their personal life, whatever they're willing to share, and feature them and welcome them in a public way. So I'm sure you guys have a private Facebook. We have a private Facebook group for our brokers. We have the public one, which, is seen by other people. And so it finally dawned on us. We're like, we should probably be welcoming people publicly in both those forums to celebrate them coming on. And we were doing that in other ways, but with social media, we really weren't. So for everyone listening, if you're on a team or you want to build a team, start to celebrate all your team members and introduce them to your social media followers. Introduce
you have
everyone.
To put it out there. Yeah, you got to put it out there to the world, right? You got to announce to the world. If you're looking to grow, you got to put it out there. Hey, I'm looking for handful of agents, or I'm looking for some talented people that want to grow their business or go to the next level, or that are looking for this or that or whatever it may be. You got to put it out there. You got to make an active role on all channels, right? And we've been doing that for years as well, in terms of celebrating when agents come on. And obviously at first, an agent a day or whatever, it was kind of easy to roll out an image, a day. Now, thankfully, humbly, we're bringing on, 100 agents plus a month are, again, very humbly are joining, the brokerage. So, now we do it in groups, you know what I mean? It's which is tough. Obviously, we like to acknowledge every single person, and we wish we could do it individually, but, we're still at least putting out an image and tagging them and celebrating everybody that again, is joining the organization. So got to put that out as well.
Yeah, 100%. Now you have some of the top producers in all of Arizona. You have the number one team in all of Arizona, I believe, which you said earlier. And that's beyond incredible. So I would love if you could share with our listeners and our viewers what you've seen having, almost 3,000 agents, a lot of them top producers all over the country in the states you guys service. What are some of those common attributes for just agents that are looking to get to that next level? What are some of the things that you see that really separate people at the very top from people that are struggling that want to get there?
I think that a lot of it, we're big believers in mindset, and truly wholeheartedly making the decision that you're going to do it, head, heart, and soul. When you turn back the clock to, again, when we rebirthed in 2012, we didn't exactly, we didn't go to some seminar, we didn't get some self-help,
Right.
book or any of those kinds of things. And, obviously I wish we had. I'm a full believer in all those kinds of things, but we didn't have some great awakening and say, hey, we must know what we want to do and we must be crystal clear about it and we must be unrelenting and completely committed. But that's what we did, right?
Yeah.
Me and my partner, like I said, we sat down and said, hey, look, we want to grow this thing. We want to expand our brand and expand our footprint. We want to bring on agents. We want to bring on top producers and teams and the whole 9 yards. And we are not going to stop, right? And we're going to be absolutely 100% committed. And not that we're not going to waver and get off track, because it happens. We're human, but we'll figure out how to get there. And one of the lines I love is, commit first, figure the rest out later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just going and making that decision that you're going to do it. You're not going to be stopped, because again, a lot of times that's the hardest part, right?
Sure.
Is really truly making that decision. And I think a lot of team leaders, a lot of brokerage owners, you see kind of get to that certain level, of success and then kind of either plateau out. Because again, this industry is challenging. I think that, it's an inexact science for a producing agent to transition to a team and a team leader, right? And, on when do I make the move, when do I not? And I've always looked at this as a two-headed monster, okay, for the team leaders and sometimes for broker owners out there as well, because we had to do this as well. But again, a two-headed monster, or the right arm and the left arm. The one arm is the sales business, right? Building out that sales business, because that's the right here and now money, and that's the big money. There's lots of opportunity, right? And to build that out. And then that is its own business. When you talk about transaction coordinator, admin, buyer's agent, the agent, whatever, right? Creating leverage on that, of course. But then that other arm is being committed to growing and attracting talent and growing the team, providing value to that team, and then being focused on how you can continue to, again, retain, keep folks around by, again, creating collaboration, creating culture, having an energy, and creating some competition or some co-opetition, but again, a lot of that decides that or a lot of that comes down to, like I said, deciding in your head, heart, and soul that you're going to do it and you're not going to stop. And when times get tough and you're saying, hey, look, the team's not growing as fast as I thought it would be, or you see tons of brokerages around my marketplace, I'm sure around the entire country, they get to that 40, 50 agent kind of plateau, or maybe around 100, 90 or 100, and then they just say, oh man, but I got to shift more of my time back over into sales, right? Because I need to be making more money. It's just not happening on the attraction side, or on the the agent side. So they kind of get caught in this no man's land. But for us, it was a means to an end with the production. We sacrificed that production, our own personal production, knowing that it's going to take time. It's going to take years to grow this, right? Amazon and all these other systems and technologies, they've programmed us that things happen overnight. I click the button, it shows up on my doorstep the next morning. It must happen immediately. What's wrong with me if it's not happening immediately, right?
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so it's like any other business on planet Earth, whether you're opening a flower shop or you're creating a real estate team or a brokerage, it's not going to happen overnight, right? You have to understand that it's going to take time. Again, 2012, we brought on 37 agents the entire year and did 11 million in sales. This year, now we're bringing on 100 agents a month doing 600 million in sales a month, right? So it doesn't happen overnight. This is a long game play. It's a long industry. Again, it's an industry where, again, it's a long game play. So
It's funny you mentioned Amazon because we all now are so used to purchasing. In fact, while we were chatting, I just got an alert saying something was delivered for me. I ordered yesterday, which obviously we most of us are probably Amazon Prime people. So this is like, yeah, we
yeah,
expect that. We know that it's not that unusual anymore. But what a lot of people don't realize, and I don't have the exact number in front of me, but Amazon wasn't even profitable for the first either 18 or 20 years. I forget what the timeline, but it was almost 20 years if it wasn't 20 years before they
wow,
actually turned a profit, right? So
wow,
they just like Jereme said, they stayed hyper focused and committed to their particular model, seeing that a big hole in e-commerce, and obviously the results are all real evident now. But it takes time, and Jereme's absolutely right. I mean, I remember too when we were first starting. Thankfully, my boss was able to put resources to me that probably should have been going to him personally, because when we first started, just like Jereme was saying, and a lot of our listeners who are trying to build a team or trying to build a brokerage have been through, which is, oh my gosh, I have to produce and I have to try to build a brokerage at the same time, which is extraordinarily challenging. And my heart and hat goes off to anyone that can do that. And we had to do the same thing. And my boss he was nice enough to take the hit so that I could focus exclusively on helping build the business. But it takes years and years and years. But Jereme, you're so right about just focusing and committing and just trusting that it's going to work out if you provide as much value as possible. And it's so funny. So when I was talking to Jereme just even before we started, and I was asking him about his business because I'm so impressed with what he's done. He's all about adding value. He has a podcast as well. In fact, let's promote your podcast, Jereme. Can you
yeah, I'd
share
love
with
to. Yeah,
us,
yeah, yeah,
please?
for sure. And the same thing. I don't know how long you've been doing your podcast here, but this is something we actually about 5-6 years ago, and that's the
Yeah,
very reason that we wanted to create that. And I love that you're doing this as
yeah,
well, because again, the idea is, how can we reach agents, on what platforms can we reach them, what's the easiest, right? So we did like I said, 5-6 years ago, we created ours. We call it the Daily Dose. So ours rolls out every single day, business Monday through Friday, hence the Daily Dose. It's quick, strategies, insight, tools, to grow your business. And really it transcends any business or anything surrounding the real estate industry. But then we go outside the box too. We're talking mindset, mental wellness, health and fitness, all kinds of different things, anything that we can do to provide some value to people's lives. But again, it's quick, it's hard hitting. Every single day it goes out. Actually, we like to push it out via text message, just so people can, play it from their phone whenever it's convenient for them. Some people tell us they use it as their alarm. It goes out 7:30 every morning. I know you guys are back east in Chicago, but some people use it as their alarm to get up. Some people play it different times throughout the day. But again, to subscribe to our
yeah.
podcast, if you don't mind, is
Please.
compose a text to the number 77948. And then in the body of the message, just write Daily Dose, and that's all one word, no spaces. And like I said, we're not going to spam you, do anything crazy. It's not to lead capture. Like I said, we've had over 1,000 episodes that we've done. Actually, I think we're
Wow.
coming up on like 1,200 or whatever it is. And again, we bring on top producers from around the state. We've had a few from around the country. We've had some from, even up in Canada. And again, it's just another way for us to try to hopefully add value to people's lives and people's businesses. And one of the other concepts that we've always believed in to kind of transition, obviously, into back to business is, we have to be omni-channel. What we've always called omni-channel, and that's the same thing for an agent and their business for their clients. You have to be on every single channel where people expect you to be, right?
Right.
We can't always, we can't expect the consumer, or we can't expect the agents out there that we're trying to attract, right, to come meet us wherever we want. We have to meet them. We have to be on the channels where they operate. And so some people want to watch a video. Some people want to go on social media, a text. Some people want to get an email. Some people deserve and want a phone call. Some people want to listen to an audio, a podcast, whenever it's convenient for them. So we're just trying to be on all the channels that make sense for people, and ideally for them to get the content that they need to grow their business.
And that's, I want everyone listening to subscribe to the Daily Dose. Could you provide that
Oh,
number
thank
one
you.
more time?
Yeah. 77948. So compose a text to that number, 77948, and then in the body of the message, daily dose, but it's all one word, no spaces.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah, it's one of those things where and this goes to whether maybe you're not trying to build a team and you just want to, as Jereme said, try to attract more clients to your personal
yeah,
production. And Jeremy's
absolutely.
right. You have to go to them. Trying to, if all you're doing is posting a hey, newly listed or just sold post on Facebook, well, okay, that's something. But is that really going after and going to, more importantly, maybe all of your clients or the agents you're looking to attract, maybe they all are also on Facebook and they only see you posting things about yourself, promoting yourself or congratulating yourself. Are you really providing value, right? So Jeremy's, this is a perfect example. So yeah, we've been doing our show for about 4.5 years, and
Awesome.
we've done over 200 episodes. And our whole objective was to provide value, just like you with Daily Dose. And that's what, if there's one thing we could get every agent to walk away from this conversation with, is provide value to the people you want to support. And what you'll find is that law of reciprocity, where you're providing value, you're not asking for anything in return. You will be shocked. And you have to commit to it, and you can't do it once in a while. It has to be, as Jeremy's case, 5 days a week he knocks out Daily Dose. That's incredible. I don't think I couldn't do that every day, although I probably should step up my game. So maybe I'll try to do maybe 4 days a week. But
I won't, or I will tell you that we record once a day, or I'm sorry, we record once a week, and then
smart,
we kind of make individual episodes and we roll them out. You know what I mean?
really
So
smart.
yeah, it's not a daily commitment. We act and pretend like it is, but I love that you said law of reciprocity. That's so powerful. We've been talking about that for so long, and give first, right? And we've always kind of compared that to a bank account. I'm sure many of us have heard that analogy, but the relationship is like a bank account. You can't just walk up to the ATM and say, hey, haven't seen you since high school. Can I, go in for a withdrawal? Hey, looking to
Yeah.
buy or sell? You know anyone you want to refer to?
Oh,
But right, if you go to the ATM and you've made a whole bunch of deposits, right, it's a lot easier than going for a withdrawal. And at some people, or at some point as salespeople, we do have to ask for the business. I think a lot of times we don't always ask for it. But again, if we've made countless deposits, if we're adding value, if we're giving first, then you have the right ultimately to ask for that, that withdrawal in return. So law of reciprocity is powerful.
so many agents, I think, learn to ask for the business first, and they go,
Right.
okay, so you have your contact list, you have your sphere of influence, and
Yep.
these are the people most likely going to want to work with you. And that's likely true. Yes, we agree with that. But the question is, how do you actually earn it, even beyond them
Right.
just being your buddy? These are your
Right.
friends. What can you do to provide value? Are you calling everyone right now and saying, hey, by the way, interest rates are at a historic low, and I don't know your current mortgage situation. Obviously, it's none of my business. But if you still have a mortgage, and if you haven't run the numbers for a refinance, if you haven't called your loan officer, now's the time. That's value, and that
Yep.
costs, like Jereme said, costs nothing. And
Right.
do you think other real estate agents are calling that person and suggesting that? Probably not, right?
Or
That's
or or are we calling people right now, coming from with empathy, with everything
right.
that's going on in the world right
Yes.
now, and that to me is current. It's current in the marketplace. It's current in society and all of our world. And hey, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Right? Like, how are things going? Are you getting through? How's the family? Last time I talked, A, B, and C happened, right? And that is another one of our responsibilities as salespeople, right? We have a responsibility to get into relationship with as many people as we possibly can. And how do we move that needle from a relationship to professional trust, right? And so to be there, to check in on people, to add value. We've said for a very long time around here, this is a human connection and human resource business, right? Like I said before, people want to work with who they know, like, and trust, right? So human connection, human resource, be a resource for people. And it's beyond just the sale. It's beyond the sale for people. That's where, as we all know and recognize in this industry, I know there's a ton of stats out there on, how many agents, closed a deal and then the client never heard from them again, or never used them again
Yeah.
because they never followed up, right? There's something we've been something we've been using around here for a little bit now is, micro transactions,
Yes.
Okay, so the macro transaction is obviously that sale. Okay,
Right.
that's how we make a living. That's how we feed our families, right? But the micro transactions that go on beyond the sale, right? And uh, inserting yourself into the center of of the transaction and all the transactions that go on beyond that. And I don't know if you guys have a whole lot of iBuyers going on in your community or in your marketplace, but that was what people like to talk about for a long time when the technologies, the Zillows and the iBuyers were coming around. It's heavy in our market right now.
Sure.
But we were saying, hey, look, you still have to insert yourself into the middle of the transaction. And we're not to say that you shouldn't ever go that route, because sometimes they provide a need for the homeowner, right? To do A, B, and C, right? So there's a need for them, but you still have to insert yourself in the middle of the transaction. So when they think about real estate, they still think about you. When they have a referral, they still think about you, right? But now it's the same thing, and I think it's more powerful than ever before. But to insert yourself into the center of the transaction, and then the micro transactions that go on beyond that. And as business owners, which every single person that's listening to your podcast right now is a business owner. Okay. We all need to be CEOs. We need to walk, talk, and act like CEOs, because it's our business, right? We should all have an entity set up, and we should pay all of our bills and do all those things, and then pay ourselves a salary and whatnot from there, operate like a business. But what do CEOs do typically? They get into relationship with other CEOs. Okay. So other people that have or the ability to make decisions, which includes a vendor list of anything and everything that a homeowner, a buyer, or a seller might need to have referred at any point. You, Mr. Agent, Mrs. Agent out there on the other end of this, need to be in the center of that space, right? Again, human connection, human resource. Who are your favorite, vendors, right? You need to be able to tell folks that and refer them. So,
and how exciting is that to have a list? It's one of those things, whenever anything goes wrong in our lives where we need to hire a service professional, it could be related to real estate or unrelated. It could be your car, blew a tire and you need a good tire place. Obviously, any place can fix your tire, but do you want to go to any place, or do you want to go to a place that is excellent? And so if you're thinking, hey, I don't know the best plumber out there, I don't know the best contractors, I don't know the best lenders or title companies or attorneys or auto repair shops, you can ask other top producers. You can ask friends and family. You can ask people. And for example, there's an auto repair shop just down the street. I'm very fortunate to be by this amazing place. I found it just randomly. I was searching around online. They are so incredible that I tell everybody I know, because I know with auto repair, I'm always worried that, am I getting screwed? Is this them? You never know. These guys I trust. Now maybe they're screwing me, but I don't think so. They have earned my trust over years. I tell everybody, because I know how stressful that is. For all of us who are real estate agents, think about that. But look, most people probably have somebody to help fix their car. They probably don't have a plumber that they know or use. They probably don't have great, interior designers or anything related. A roofing guy, could be anything. You need to create that list, and then you need to consistently go out and tell people about these people and say, hey, by the way, if you ever need this, I've got and create a list, provide value. That is so important. And what that does, as Jereme says, it inserts you into every part of real estate and makes you invaluable to people. And beyond the sale, 5 years out, they say, okay, it's time to get a new roof, and that's, by the way, agents, everyone listening, you should be staying in touch with all of your buyers and sellers, of course, well after the transaction. But this is a great opportunity to say, hey, how's anything going wrong with the house? Because I have an amazing vendor list. If there's anything you need, you call me first. I will get you the right person. That is so powerful, and also free. That's a free thing that any one of us can do.
Now you're a resource. Now you're top of mind. And again, as CEOs, okay, now put these strategic partnerships together. As we start to produce a little bit more, right? We have a little bit more, weight that we can carry around, so to speak, and get into these relationships with these vendors. Make it a win-win, guys. There's lots of different ways, and I'm not trying to talk, compliant versus non-compliant. I know every state around the country is different, but there are many, many ways that we can legally, of course, consult with your broker or consult with your attorneys, of course, but there's so many different ways that we can be compensated beyond that macro transaction, right? That are perfectly legal, and so along with getting these vendors, we've been helping a lot of our agents, a lot of our teams. And again, I know every marketplace is very, very different when it comes to vendors being able to contribute towards agent business,
Sure.
your business as an agent. But as we produce, again, I don't think agents think about that enough, on the folks that we get into relationship with. It needs to be a win-win, right? It needs to be a give and take. We're not
Yeah.
compiling that list to solely give out,
Sure.
referrals, but also to get them in return. We've been focused a lot around here. We're really seeing this divide, especially when it comes to teams, and then many top producing agents as well, on the folks that are going out and obtaining what I like to call a channel account. Okay, and a channel account could be hundreds of different things, whether it's a divorce attorney, a CPA, whoever it may be. Of course, like a relo account or something like that has always been considered a channel account, but it can be much smaller than that. Your kid's classroom, right, is a
Right.
potential channel account, right?
Your
But
financial advisor, your
your
accountant.
financial,
Yeah.
right, it goes on and on and on, right? So but again, ultimately a single source of business that has
Yeah.
the opportunity to turn into multiple transactions. Because again, we're all spending time working for that one buyer or that one seller, right? What would happen if we spent some time going after that single source of business that has an opportunity to turn into multiple transactions, right?
Right.
And nurturing those relationships and creating a program, so to speak, that can be a benefit to them. So a quick approach that I've always loved for that is, you reach out to the CPA, or you reach out, hey, sadly but true, we all know divorces are happening, right? You reach out to
Right.
the divorce attorney, right? How many transactions can the average divorce
Oh,
attorney refer you? Sadly, a lot,
tons.
right? I think,
Yeah.
yeah, tons. So, I mean, it could be 20 sales every month, and it could be, what's that, 40 purchases every month,
Right.
right? If you're able to get a fraction of that business, but the idea is that, just like you're saying, is that you reach out to this person, the divorce attorney or the CPA, and say, hey, look, I'm looking. Sadly, my clients, it's a numbers game. Sadly, some of them are getting divorced. I need a good divorce attorney that I can believe in and refer to. So I need to learn about your business. I would love 15, 30 minutes. Understand who you are, understand your business. You're not asking for a thing beyond that, right? You're just solely going into the meeting to learn about their business, to ultimately be able to refer them. You said law of reciprocation. If you start referring, we'd like to think that it's going to start coming back our way. If you create a program that adds value to their clients, whether it be a discount of closing costs or whatever it may be, right? Now you're continuing to add value to them, right? So it's kind of this give and take, and nurture that like any other relationship that you would out there. And ideally, if you can create a couple of these channel accounts, I mean, my God, that's life changing.
Yeah, it's boy, you said so much, and so a lot of times I think as individual agents, we might think about the client being the hub, saying, well, if I do a really good job, they're going to tell their friends and family. And yes, absolutely, yes, 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 go above and beyond, and hope and pray that they tell everybody they know about you. Jeremy's talking about doing this on a different level, right? Coming from a different approach. Yes, do that, and start to think about people that might be able to send clients your way beyond your existing, just your sphere of influence, the people you've worked with in the past. Go to places that are like, for example, my accountant is always asking me. So there was a period where I've owned properties, and then there's times where I haven't, and I've been renting, and I kind of go back and forth sometimes. And she will always say, when you need to buy a home, you need to buy a home. And so finally, I'm in the process of doing that right now. But there were several years where I wasn't, and she was like, you need to do that. Now, if I was an individual practicing agent, I know she's telling that to other clients of hers. And then my thought would be, how can I add so much value to my accountant, and have that conversation about, hey, you've been telling me to do this. I imagine you're having this conversation with others. So obviously, if you could always send people my way, but what can I do for you? How can I send more people to you first? Right. And so Jeremy's so right about finding those people. And it might not be even an individual person. For example, if you work with if you help somebody buy their first home, they were renting and now they're buying, I used to work at a tech company, and I was one of the first people. We had about 100 people at our company. I think I was one of few people that owned a property at that time. I was in my 20s, and most people were in their 20s. They were renting just because that's what people do in their 20s. And I bought a home, and then people started asking me, "Ooh, how'd you do that? How'd that work?" And I realized, boy, all of these super smart tech people just didn't really know anything about real estate. And so I referred them to my agent. But if an agent was smarter, they would have called up like the human resources person at my company and say, "Hey, can I come in and do a seminar about why people should make the transition from renting to buying?" So that's a channel opportunity, guys. That is so huge. So Jereme, I'm so grateful that you brought that up.
Oh, well, hey, thank you very much. I mean, I again, and it's, I think no matter what we're doing across the board, it's leading with abundance. And you've said multiple times, hey, how can I add value? What can I give? And we just, wouldn't society be a little bit better off if we all just kind of gave first and expected nothing in return,
Yeah.
and the more we gave, I think that it's just, you hear so many people out there that have success, and they lead with, I was filling a need in the marketplace. I was looking to add value. I was hoping to, help somebody, bridge the gap from A to B, whatever it is, right? People, generally speaking, that are having success, they lead first with the heart, with abundance, and again, that's just across the board. If we give first, good things happen.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to wrap up, because I think you just said maybe the most important thing in this entire hour that we've spent together. Lead from the heart, give first, don't expect anything in return, because the law of reciprocity will likely take care of you. And if it doesn't, and if all of a sudden you're referring business to someone and they're not, returning the favor, then maybe reconsider that relationship and find someone else. There are plenty of people that will send business your way ultimately, but just lead from a giving perspective, as Jereme said. Yep. So I also want to tell everyone, right? At 100%, yep. 100%. I want to tell everybody who's listening, please, if you are in the Arizona market and you're a broker, a realtor rather, and you're looking to, maybe you're thinking, boy, maybe my firm's not really giving me everything I deserve, or I want to join a really vibrant, exciting culture of top producers, and not every producer at Jereme's firm is a top producer. So just because you might not be at the very top of the mountain, they still would love to chat with you and see if it's a good fit for both. And not just in the Phoenix area. Jereme's company's in 9 states. So go to their website, which is myhomegroup.com. They've got an incredible website that really showcases a little bit more about what they offer agents, and see if it's a great fit for you. If you're a solo practitioner, if you're on a team, maybe it's time to consider, what is your company offering you? What are they providing to help you grow? Jereme's company does that. So go visit myhomegroup.com. And Jereme, thank you so much once again. This was an incredible hour. We are so grateful for your time today. I know how busy we are with 700 brokers. You have 4 times that number, so I know how busy you must be. You still found time to jump on our show here. So on behalf of the listeners, we want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And on behalf of Jereme and myself, we want to thank everyone who's either listening or watching this episode. And we're going to ask everybody to do just 2 quick things. 3 things. First, go visit myhomegroup.com. 4 things. Visit myhomegroup.com. Second, sign up for the Daily Dose. Third,
yeah, right.
Sign up for the Daily Dose. And then third, tell a friend about this episode. Just think of one other real estate professional that could benefit from having heard this great conversation with Jereme, and send them a link to our show. The easiest way to do it, just go to our website. It's keepingitrealpod.com. If you're a podcast person, just look it up on any app. You'll find us, Keeping It Real Podcast. But our website's keepingitrealpod.com. And the 4th thing we're asking everyone to do, follow us on Facebook. Please find us at facebook.com/Keeping It Real Pod. The only stuff we post there is we post an inspirational quote. We also find an article that was written specifically every single day. We find an article that was written specifically to help agents grow their business. We promote that there. And then, of course, these episodes. So please, again, facebook.com/Keeping It Real Pod. Jereme, thank you. This was awesome. You are my Michael Jordan. So I am so excited.
Oh, man. Those are some big shoes right there, my man. But thank you so much. Appreciate the kind words. And, you guys are obviously doing great things as well. So, hey, there's a lot out there for all of us to be successful. So that's all we want everyone to win. So
agreed. All right. Well, thanks, Jereme. And we'll see everyone on the next episode.